My name is Ming Foxweldon. My full name is Bai Ming Mershan Blazek Foxweldon. I was born in southwest China, and I was adopted at age 3.5. Grew up first in Wisconsin, and then moved to New Hampshire, and that's where I spent most of my life. At the moment, I am a budding professional, I guess, in a staff agency at the moment, but I'm hoping to do other work in the future. When I was younger, I was very much a friendly social butterfly, and I was very much involved in trying to get to know other people and very much putting myself out there. And I was a very interactive individual who just wanted to learn about what other people were about, where they came from, just kind of learn about their life. And I was also very curious. So with that being said, sometimes my curiosity got me in a bit of a pickle, but in other times it really opened up my mind as to how the world works, and that allowed me to really get to know myself in other situations. When I was a child, my favorite childhood possession was my, I guess it would be a Curious George, and it was a pretty large monkey that I carried around, and I brought him everywhere. And I think that I treated this stuffed animal like he was my best friend, and sometimes I was also not so nice to him. So I had a very mixed relationship with this stuffed animal. When I was a child, I think I was creative in my own right. I do think that in my certain schooling and activities, I was able to let that creativity be expressed and such, but I think there's still a certain sort of anxiety and uncertainty, maybe low confidence in showing that. But I still, continued venturing into certain areas of work in order to express myself, whether that be in sports or an actual art form. But I think as I grew older, I learned to find what I like and hone in on that and show that to the world. I didn't really believe in imaginary friends. I know that I had friends who did tell me about their imaginary friends, but for me, I think I never really felt I could even create one. I think I imagined myself as being maybe imaginary myself in a way where I could create a new story about myself. But other than that, I didn't, make up a character in my head and try to act as if I was friends with them. As a child, I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up, except that I knew that I liked being around animals and people, and I liked caring for them. I knew that I also liked music, and I knew that I liked to be active in the community and help people. But I also think that some of those ideas were contributed because of my environment and because of my family and friends. I think that's a big part of where I decided, or when I decided what I liked. I also decided that, as I grew older, I liked to, support other people, and as I grew older, I became more innovative and more interested in learning about how other people thought, but also how my thoughts might be able to contribute to a bigger idea. So I think that ultimately, I think my main goal is to learn how best to support others and how best to learn about myself so that I can support myself as well. When I was a child, I think that I had some fears and things, but I think that the way that I tried to express that was maybe just more on this sort of secretive level, or maybe not even a level of comprehension for myself. I think it depended on the situation, but as a young child, I think my father was a very strong figure in my life, and he'd always be there to say, I'm here, just let me know, and everything will be okay. My mom, my adoptive mom, she would say the same thing, but I think because of my bond with her, or rather not such a strong bond with her as a young child and even up to this day, is the reason why I think I could never feel I could come to her for help on, my fears and stuff. I mean, I think in a very generic level, I could say, Mom, I don't know if I can do this, but on a very personal and emotional level, I think it was not that easy because my biggest fear was judgment, and that was a big part of my growing up, is being afraid to be judged and not only just based on like wearing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing, but just like an overall um, pressure and expectation that if I didn't make it to a certain mark, whether and it would then it would add up into multiple, mistakes or errors, then I'd start to feel like, wow, rejection really is a reality. And so I think that was my other fear, rejection, and just thinking of the concept of otherness and being that, once someone states a difference in me as a young child, I took that as a means of rejection as opposed to an observation. If I could give advice to my younger self, it would be that it wasn't my fault when something bad happened to me, and I think that if I could have given myself more advice, it would have been that I could have tried to just find ways or exercises to calm myself and be able to find other people to talk with, because sometimes I think my judgment went off the walls, and therefore I talked to the wrong people, and the people who played the I care for you and I really want to be there for you, but within seconds they just reject me flat out or in a very indirect way, which would leave me in usually in tears and just totally upset. And I think I would also advise myself, my younger self, as that, don't be so hard on yourself. I think that's my biggest kind of shortcoming as a person, is that I was very hard on myself. I was very hard on other people, and I think that much of the reasons why, as a young child, I was very eager to have acceptance by other people, and so that's another thing I'd advise my younger self, is to know that acceptance is going to take a long time, and it doesn't necessarily apply to everyone who will interact with me or my younger self, and that just because I work hard does not mean that other people will see that I work hard, and that I have to find ways to calm my younger self to realize that acceptance isn't necessarily going to be like a very triumphant yay and A+ kind of thing, but that acceptance is really going to be more about progress and process, and that there will be days in which my younger self and my present self will have to accept what is now, but at the same time that tomorrow is a new day, and that yesterday was yesterday, but that I learned from yesterday so that I can feel good about today, and then therefore I can learn about what tomorrow could bring. Currently I am a member of a few groups, adoption related, and that's really helped with my development and just sense of identity. And I have interest in trying to work with either nonprofit organizations or for-profit organizations in kind of helping to educate and communicate ideas to the public around adoption issues and such. And I'm hoping to go back to school at some point to get a master's in something to do with child development or social welfare or social change. I'd like to, try to find my place here, whether it be in America or in another country, and just kind of seek solace in whatever I do, and be a stronger individual for the future. Thank you for listening and watching this clip, and I hope that you'll get a little bit of an understanding of what my life was like, and just how, if there's anything that you see similar, that you're not alone, and you're definitely going to be supported by adoptees like myself. And if there's anything that I can do, you're welcome to reach out to me. I do have Facebook, and am part of Google Plus and other social media, so don't be afraid to contact me, and welcome aboard.